Welcome to this instruction video on PowerPoint. We often use PowerPoint, yet do not receive often training how to be better at it. This video will cover how to use shortkeys in PowerPoint and therefore be faster at making slides. This video will cover two topics. First, the rule of prominence, and second, the shortkeys. In the rule of prominence, we'll explain to you how you can make your main message more prominent or more clear on your slide. Often there are many things on your slides, yet you want one thing, one message to stand out. In this slide, you see that the bigger the object or the bigger you make your message, the more prominent it is on your slide. Yet there are many different ways how you can do this without everything making it bigger. A second option, for example, is just to change colors. Even though that the circles are not well arranged, you see that the ones with a different color are more prominent. Another way is that you align your text or your objects very clearly on your slide, yet one object or one text box could be a different color. Another way to make your message more prominent on your slide is to make it actually smaller or a different size than the rest. It doesn't have to be always bigger. You can see this on this slide. Your attention is drawn to the smaller circle. Yet another way is that you make your object a different shape. So all the things on your slide are a certain shape and your main message is a different shape. That will draw the attention to the different shape. The second topic will cover the shortkeys and how to make these objects faster. We'll cover 7 tools in this video, and the first one is on how to copy your objects fast. So if I move into the editor mode of PowerPoint, you probably know the right mouse click trick and then copy-paste your object like this. Or maybe you use Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V to copy your objects. Yet there is a third way. If you select your object, and you can select multiple objects at the same time, you can press Ctrl, click your object, and then move your objects to the right or left, and you can copy them by releasing your mouse click first and only then releasing your Control key. Now, if you want to copy and align your objects directly at the same time, you can click your objects, then press Control and Shift. Then you can only move your objects in the straight lines. So you can either move it in the direct lines horizontally or directly vertically. So only up and down. Then again, if you release your mouse click first and then your Control and Shift key, you have copied your objects. Now moving to the second tool, you can align your objects very fast. So maybe you have used the ones where you click your object and you try to find these helpful grid lines, but there is also a button for this. So select the objects that you want to align, then go to Formatting Tools and go here to Align. Now you can align in different ways. You can see here. For example, if you align on the top, all your objects will move to the highest objects of your object. If you align at the bottom, you'll see that all the objects go to the bottom of the lowest object. You can also align in the center. So you align them to the exact center object. Now the last option is that you distribute them either horizontally or vertically directly. So if I distribute them horizontally, my objects will move from the exact same distance from each other. Now if I combine these tools, you'll see that if I align them in the center, and then I distribute them horizontally, I actually made my shapes in a perfect alignment amongst each other. Now you can practice this more at home, but in the meantime, I want to show you how you can put these tools very quickly on your quick access toolbar, which you see here on top. So I have already edited that these alignment buttons are very fast accessible, but you can do that as well. If you go with your mouse to the top of your PowerPoint and you click right mouse click, so you have to be in the toolbar, you can customize your quick access toolbar. Now if you click this, you will come to this screen under PowerPoint options and quick access toolbar. The options on the right will show up in your quick access toolbar, and on the left are all the options that you have to select to put them in your quick access toolbar. Now these are the ones that are popular, yet if you go to the ones that are all commands, you'll get a much bigger list. Now luckily this list is ordered by alphabet. So if you want to look for the distribute horizontal button, you can also go to the D, distribute horizontally, and then click add. You can at any time remove any object and add another object if you prefer by clicking on the right and remove. Now if you click OK, you'll see that your edit toolbar is added. So I remove now the last options. This is easy because if we go back to the second tool, instead of clicking the objects and then going to the menu and click the alignment button, now I have a very fast accessible here. So I can align them on the left all, so they're actually now on top of each other, the objects. It's much faster than going to the menu and clicking the drop-down menu. Now let's move to the third tool. So this third distribution, I've already showed you in the previous one, but there is a second one. There is also how to distribute vertically. So if I distribute vertically, the objects will move in a perfect distance from each other, not on the horizontal line, but on the vertical line. So let's say that I have my objects like this. So they're not distributed very nicely. So if I click them all and select the distribute vertical options, you'll see that they move in the perfect alignment between each other. So now the distance between these two objects are exactly the same as the distance between these two objects. Now if I line them also very nicely on the left, they will not go over each other right now, but they will also be very nicely aligned straight above each other. Now this is done with objects or squares, but you can also do this with text boxes, which makes your slides look so much nicer. Now let's move to the fourth tool. The fourth tool is how to arrange your objects. So here you see an orange circle and a blue circle, and the orange circle is above the blue circle. Now it could be that we want the blue circle on top of the orange circle exactly. So we select the blue circle, we go to the formatting tools, and you can select bring forward or bring to the front. Now if you select bring to the front, your object will be the complete top of all the tools. Bring forward is a feature that you only use if you are arranging more than two objects. So if I click bring to the front, you see that the blue object has moved above the orange one. Now, it could be that you ever had a problem on how to select actually the orange one, and because it's behind, you can actually not select it. So if you ever have a problem to select a certain object or text box, you can do that by arranging it better. Now let's move to the fifth tool. So the fifth tool is how to group objects. So if we select more than one object, we can group them by going again to the formatting menu and then click group and group under the drop-down menu. Now you see that all the three objects are grouped together and I can move them all at the same time, which makes it so much easier. Now, if I select again the three boxes behind here, so let's see these three tools, I could also just use the short key of Ctrl G, and it does the same thing. As you can see now, I can move the three at the same time. Now at the last ones, I want to explain to you how I select these three objects at the same time. So what you can do is either move your cursors, click it, and then drag your mouse over the three objects and you select them. But you can also, when you click, you press your Ctrl key and then you click them when you have this plus sign next to your cursor. So now I have selected three groups, as you can see here. Now let's say that I want to align these groups and distribute them vertically. I can also do that. So if I go back to one of the first tools where we use this alignment, I can here distribute vertically. Or even better, I use my short key menu here. So if I distribute them vertically, you see that the groups are now distributed vertically in perfect arrangement and spaces behind each other. Now it could be that you want to ungroup a certain object, so you can click on it, go to the formatting menu, and then under the drop-down menu of group, you can also select ungroup. But even faster is if you click Ctrl Shift and then G. So to group is Ctrl G and to ungroup is Ctrl Shift G. Now if we move to the sixth tool, it's how to rotate objects. So if I select an object and go to the formatting menu, I can actually click rotate here and I can rotate perfectly on 90 degrees to the right or to the left, which is the same here, but if you have a text box, it wouldn't be like that. But let's say that I want to rotate it not in perfectly 90 degrees, but something in between. I could also use this green button here. So if I select the green button and move it over with my cursor, I see that it turns into a circle. Now if I click it, I can actually move my object any type of degree that I want it. Now it could be that this green button doesn't always show because you're too much zoomed out of your slide. So the object is too small for PowerPoint to show you the green option. So now you see that you don't see the green one, but if I actually zoom in, it appears. So now let's move to the seventh and last tool about formatting your object. So we have here one object with red text and gray background and one object with black text and blue background. Now we want to make this object, the gray one, look like the one on the blue. So one thing we could do is that we go on the home menu, we go to the font color and we can select black. And then here on the right, we can change the shape fill into blue. Yet there is a faster way. So if we go back to the red text and gray back, you can also, when you select the object and you move with your cursor over it, you see that these black arrows appear around your cursor, and then you can click right mouse click. So then you see this menu appearing, which is much closer by. So here you can select the black font color, black and blue shape fill. So that's already faster than going to the top and search for it. Yet there is an even faster way. So if we go back to this text and you already have the type of format that you want, but you just want it to look the same, what you also could do is just select the object that you like and you click the Format Painter. So if you click it once, you get this painter next to your cursor, and whatever object you select next will change into the same format as the one that you just copied. So if I click now on the gray object, you'll see that it automatically changes both shape fill and font color. Now you can also select this Format Painter twice. So you click twice very fast after one another. So click, click. Then I also get the painter next to it. But now, since I copied the gray one, when I click it once, it will stay there. So the double click makes it permanent painter until you deselect it. So now if I click a second object, it will also change format. Whereas if I only click the Format Painter once, I can only click once to use the Format Painter. Now if I want to exit from the permanent painter or the double-clicked painter, I can just press Escape. Now we have come to the end of the tools, and there is a small exercise here for you. Here on the right, we have a yin-yang sign, and here on the left, we have multiple objects that together could shape this yin-yang signature. So my question to you, if you try it at home now with the tools that you've learned above, to try and make these shapes in blue into the yin-yang sign. We will publish the solution to this exercise later on. Thank you so much for your attention, and I hope this was helpful. Please keep an eye on the e-learning platform for our latest updates.